These colossal monuments scattered around the globe range from ancient sculptures carved into rocky outcrops to towering figures standing sentinel over forgotten lands. Join me as I count down 15 of the most mysterious giant statues. Starting with number 15, the Lashan Giant Buddha in China. The Lashan Giant Buddha, which is in the Sichuan province of China, is the largest stone Buddha statue in the world. Carved directly into the cliff face of Liyue Mountain at the meeting point of the Menn River, Dadu River, and Qingyi River. It stood as a symbol of Buddhist faith and Chinese artistry for over 1,200 years. The statue, which reaches a height of about 233 feet or 71 meters, depicts Maitreya, a bodhisattva traditionally associated with the Buddha in Buddhist beliefs. Construction began in 713 CE during the Tang Dynasty under the supervision of a Chinese monk named Haitong. Haitong began this project with the hope that the presence of the Buddha would calm the turbulent waters at the confluence of the three rivers, which were notorious for causing dangerous currents and shipwrecks. The statue took approximately 90 years and the efforts of several generations to complete, and it was finally finished in 803 CE. The Buddha is seated with hands resting on his knees, and its serene expression is designed to instill a sense of peace and protection. The statue is so large that even its ears are 23 feet or 7 meters long, and its shoulders are 27 feet or 8.3 meters wide. Huge thought went into its design, including a sophisticated drainage system. Engineers carved a series of hidden gutters, channels, and drainage pipes into the statue's head, arms, and behind the ears to protect the Buddha from erosion by rainwater. This system has helped preserve the statue for over a millennium, despite its exposure to the elements. Number 14, the Olmec Colossal Heads in Mexico. Now, these are some of the most impressive sculptures of ancient Mesoamerica. They were created by the Olmec civilization, which flourished on the Gulf Coast of Mexico between about 15 BCE and 400 BCE. These massive stone heads carved from single blocks of basalt are one of the most enduring legacies of the Olmec people. 17 colossal heads have been discovered to date, mainly in the Olmec heartland, which includes sites like San Lorenzo, La Venta, and Tres Zapotes, in the modern Mexican states of Veracruz and Tabasco. These heads range in height from about 5 to 11 feet, or 1.5 to 3.5 meters, and can weigh as much as 50 tons. The size of these heads, combined with the precision of their carving, shows remarkable skill and organization by the Olmec people. The facial expressions of the heads are often stern and imposing, conveying a sense of power and authority. Some scholars believe the heads were carved to commemorate important leaders, perhaps as a way to immortalize them or to serve as symbols of their divine power. The basalt used to create these heads was quarried from the Tuxtla Mountains, located about 30 to 60 miles away from the sites where the heads were eventually positioned. The purpose and meaning of these heads remains a subject of debate, and while it's widely accepted that they represent Olmec rulers or elites, the exact role within the Olmec society isn't fully understood. Some theories suggest the heads were part of a larger ceremonial or ritualistic context, possibly related to ancestor worship, while others propose that they were used to display the might of the ruling class. Number 13, the Theu Valar statue in India. The Theu Valar statue, located on a small island near Kanyakumari in the southernmost part of India, is a huge tribute to one of the greatest Tamil poets and philosophers. Standing at a height of 133 feet or 40 meters, the statue commemorates the author of the Tirukkural, a classic Tamil text that's revered as one of the most important works of Tamil literature. The Tirukkural is a collection of about 1,300 couplets, offering wisdom on ethics, politics, love, and even morality, and has had a profound influence on Tamil culture and beyond. The statue of Theu Valar was completed on January 1, 2000, and has since become an iconic symbol of the heritage and philosophical ideals of Tamil. The decision to build the statue was made by the Tamil Nadu government to honor Theu Valar's contributions to literature and promote his teachings of virtue, wealth, and love. The height of the statue is symbolic, representing the 133 chapters of the Tirukkural, each of which deals with specific aspects of human life and conduct. Its position on a rocky outcrop in the Indian Ocean, about 1,300 feet from the mainland, is where the mystery around it comes from. It's made up of 3,681 stones and weighing a total of 7,000 tons. No one knows for certain quite how long it will remain in place, as, in line with its subject's teachings, the world can always be unpredictable. Eventually, it will be worn away by the ocean, but this could be in decades or centuries. Number 12. Kamakura Daibutsu, Japan. The Kamakura Daibutsu, also known as the Great Buddha of Kamakura, is one of Japan's most revered monuments. It's located in the coastal city of Kamakura in Kanagawa Prefecture. This massive bronze statue of Amida Buddha was originally cast in 1252 CE during the Kamakura period. The monument was commissioned by the regent Hojo Tokiyori as a symbol of Buddhism's enduring influence and new military government's patronage of religious institutions. Statues around 44 feet or about 13.3 meters tall, making it one of the largest bronze Buddha statues in Japan. The Daibutsu depicts Amida Buddha, the Buddha of infinite light, who is central to the Pure Land sect of Buddhism. Amida Buddha is venerated for his boundless compassion and promise of rebirth in the Pure Land, a paradise where all beings can attain enlightenment. The statue's expression, with half-closed eyes and a gentle smile, embodies the Buddha's peaceful and compassionate nature, inviting contemplation and reflection. The surface of the statue is covered with fine details too, including the folds of the Buddha's robe and the intricate pattern of his hair curls. Despite the statue's massive size, the overall impression is one of calmness and grace. Number 11. The Moai of Rapanui in Chile. The Moai of Rapanui is also known as Easter Island, and some of the most mysterious and iconic statues in the world are there. These massive stone figures, carved by the Rapanui people between 1400 and 1650 CE, have captivated imaginations of explorers, archaeologists, and even tourists. Found in the Rano Raraku quarry, where most of the Moai were sculpted, and they vary in size, with the tallest standing at around 33 feet or 10 meters and weighing over 80 tons. However, some unfinished Moai remain in the quarry, and one that would have been nearly 69 feet or 21 meters tall if it was completed. The Moai have large, elongated heads, heavy brows, and deep-set eyes. Many of them originally had red stone topknots, known as pukao, in place on their heads, and some also had coral eyes, giving them an even more imposing presence. The Moai are believed to represent deified ancestors, the spirits of important chiefs or other high-ranking individuals. By creating these statues, the Rapanui sought to honor their ancestors and ensure their protection and prosperity. By the time the Europeans arrived in the 18th century, the island society had undergone significant changes, including the toppling of many Moai during intertribal conflicts. Despite these challenges, the Moai remains a powerful symbol of the island's cultural heritage and the resilience of its people. Number 10. The statue of Ahura Mazda in Iran. The statue of Ahura Mazda, though not widely as known as some of the other ancient monuments on this list, holds significant religious importance in Iran. Ahura Mazda is the supreme deity in Zoroastrianism, one of the world's oldest monotheistic religions, which originated in ancient Persia around 1500 BCE. The figure of Ahura Mazda is a symbol of divine wisdom, righteousness, and the cosmic order, playing a central role in Zoroastrian belief systems. Zoroastrianism, founded by the prophet Zoroaster, was the dominant religion of Persia before the rise of Islam. Ahura Mazda, meaning wise lord, was revered as the creator of the universe and the source of all goodness. The most famous depictions of Ahura Mazda are not statues in the traditional sense, but rather bas-reliefs and rock carvings found at ancient sites across Iran, particularly those dating back to the Achaemenid and Sasanian empires. One of the most prominent representations is found in the ancient Persian ceremonial capital of Persepolis, which was built during the reign of Darius the Great in the 6th century BCE. Here, Ahura Mazda is depicted as a winged figure, often seen in the form of a Faravahar, a symbol that combines a human torso with outstretched wings, representing divine glory, the soul's journey, and the moral guidance offered by Ahura Mazda. The most famous depictions appear in the rock reliefs at Nashk-e-Rustam, an ancient necropolis near Persepolis. These reliefs carved into the cliff show the god bestowing royal diadem upon Persian kings, including Darius the Great and his successors. These images symbolize the divine sanction of the king's authority, underscoring the idea that Persian rulers were chosen by Ahura Mazda to maintain order and justice on earth. Number 9. Budura Vagala, Sri Lanka. Budura Vagala, which is in the southeastern part of Sri Lanka, is one of the country's most important ancient Buddhist sites. Known for its impressive rock-cut statues, Budura Vagala translates to mean the rock within the Buddha statue. The main rock face actually has a series of 7 Buddhist statues carved directly into the granite cliff, and the central figure is a towering statue of the Buddha, standing at about 49 feet or 15 meters tall. The statue is carved in the classic style of Sri Lankan Buddhist art, with the Buddha depicted in the Abhaya Mudra, a gesture of protection, fearlessness, and reassurance. Now, flanking the central Buddha statue are 6 other figures believed to represent various bodhisattvas, or enlightened beings who have postponed their own nirvana to help others achieve enlightenment. One of the most interesting apart from the main one is the statue of Avalokiteshvara, a bodhisattva associated with compassion. This figure is really striking because of the white streak of lime that runs down from the top of the rock face to the bodhisattva's head, symbolizing a sacred anointment. Avalokiteshvara is accompanied by 2 other bodhisattvas, Vajrapani, who holds a thunderbolt, symbolizing the power of Buddha's teachings, and a female figure believed to be Tara, the goddess of protection and mercy. In addition to its obvious religious significance, Vagala is also an important archaeological site. The statues provide valuable insights into the evolution of Sri Lankan Buddhist art, particularly the influence of Mahayana Buddhism, which is reflected in the depiction of these bodhisattvas. Number 8. The Apennine Colossus in Italy. The Apennine Colossus is a huge sculpture that stands as a masterpiece of Renaissance art. It's located in the park of Villa di Petrolino near Florence in Italy, and it was created by a Flemish sculptor in the late 16th century after being commissioned by Francesco I de' Medici, the Grand Duke of Tuscany, as part of the elaborate gardens of his home. Completed around 1580, the statue was intended to represent the Apennine Mountains, which run down from the spine of Italy. And the designer, known for his dynamic sculptures and mastery of the human form, created the Colossus as a personification of these mountains. The Colossus stands at over 35 feet or about 10.6 meters and is constructed from a combination of brick and stucco covered with limestone to create a naturalistic appearance. The statue depicts a giant bearded man emerging from the ground, his body partially integrated with the rock. This fusion of man and nature is a central theme in Renaissance art and reflects the era's fascination with the harmony between the two. Surprisingly, the statue is not a solid mass like it looks, but it contains several hidden chambers and grottos, each with its own unique function. For example, the Colossus's head houses a small room that was once accessible by a staircase, offering views of the surrounding park through the giant's eyes. Water features also play a key role here, as originally water could flow from the Colossus's mouth and beard, and grotto within the statue's torso was designed to contain a small fountain. Over the centuries, the Apennine Colossus has weathered the elements and undergone periods of neglect, but it's also seen restoration efforts. The statue is now a central attraction in the park, which has been recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Moving on to number 7, the rock sculpture of Decebalus, Romania. The sculpture of Decebalus is a huge tribute to the last king of Dacia, Decebalus, who fought fiercely against the Roman Empire at the turn of the 1st and 2nd centuries. Carved into a limestone cliff on the Romanian side of the Danube, the rock sculpture of Decebalus stands at 141 feet or 42.9 meters tall and 104 feet or 31.6 meters wide, being depicted with a stern, majestic expression embodying the warrior king's resilience. The idea for this sculpture was put forward by Romanian businessman and historian Iosif Constantin Dragan, who was inspired by Decebalus's legacy of the history of Dacia, the ancient region that corresponds to present-day Romania and Moldova. Dragan wanted the sculpture to be a way to honor Decebalus, to celebrate the cultural heritage of the Romanian people, and the project was launched in 1994. It took over a decade to complete, with work finishing in 2004. The team that created it used dynamite to remove large sections of rock, followed by more delicate chiseling and carving to create the detailed features on the face. The project was funded entirely by Dragan, who invested millions of euros into bringing his vision to life. The sculpture is close to the Iron Gates, which is a gorge on the Danube River that forms part of the border between Romania and Serbia. The location is historically significant, as it's close to the site where the Romans built Trajan's Bridge, one of the greatest engineering achievements of the ancient world. The sculpture is now a major tourist attraction, and it's a reminder of the enduring legacy of the Dacians, who played a critical role in shaping the cultural and historical identity of this region. The inscription below the sculpture reads in Latin, Decebalus Rex Dragan Fecit, which translates to King Decebalus, made by Dragan. Number 6. The Monta Prama statues, Sardinia. The Monta Prama statues, discovered on the island of Sardinia in Italy, are among the most significant archaeological finds in the Mediterranean and have shed light on the ancient Nuragic civilization. These statues, which dates back to the 11th and 8th centuries BCE, represents one of the earliest examples of large-scale stone sculptures in Europe. They were discovered in 1974 when a farmer unearthed fragments of a large stone statue while plowing his field near Cabra, in western part of Sardinia. Archaeologists soon uncovered a vast collection of pieces, eventually pieced together nearly 30 statues, along with smaller several models of naguri, the distinctive tower-like structures from Nuragic architecture. These statues, carved from local limestone, are huge in size, standing between 6.5 feet and 8 feet, or 2 and 2.5 meters tall, and have uniquely stylized and geometric forms. The statues represent three types of figures: boxers, archers, and warriors, all of which are depicted with an extraordinary level of detail and craftsmanship. The faces of the statue are really noteworthy, with large circular eyes, with some scholars interpreting as symbols of vigilance or divine power. The geometric stylization of these figures, with their elongated limbs and exaggerated features, reflects the unique artistic style of the Nuragic civilization. The importance of Monta prama lies not only in their artistic and cultural value, but also in what they reveal about the Nuragic civilization. The people, who are somewhat mysterious to historians, were known for their advanced metalworking, impressive architectural achievements, and complex social organizations. The discovery of these statues adds a new element to our understanding of their society, suggesting that they had a rich tradition of sculpture and a sophisticated symbolic language. In 2011, after decades of painstaking restoration, several of the statues were put on public display, where they continue to draw visitors and researchers eager to explore this ancient Sardinian culture. Number 5. The Zabruk Idol, Ukraine. The Zabruk idol is one of the most unusual relics of the pre-Christian Slavic paganism. Discovered in 1848 on the Zabruk River in what is now Ukraine, this stone statue provides a rare glimpse into the religious practices and cosmology of the ancient Slavs before the advent of Christianity in Eastern Europe. The Zabruk idol is a four-sided stone pillar, or statue, that stands about 8.8 feet or 2.6 meters tall and is carved from limestone. The pillar is divided into three distinct sections, which are generally interpreted as representing the three levels of the Slavic cosmology: the heavens, the earth, and the underworld. At the top of the idol, in the heavenly section, is a figure commonly interpreted as the chief deity of the Slavic pantheon, often identified as Perun, the god of thunder and war. This figure, often shown with a mustache and holding a small horn or vessel, possibly symbolizing power or abundance. Surrounding this central figure are three other deities, each representing different aspects of nature or human life, such as fertility, agriculture, or the cycle of seasons. This upper section reflects the importance of the divine in governing the natural world and human existence. The middle section of the Zabruk idol, representing the earthly realm, features a series of human figures engaged in various activities, likely representing the daily life of the Slavs. One figure appears to be holding a sword or a plow, which could be showing the dual roles of the warrior and the farmer in Slavic society. The bottom section of the idol, believed to represent the underworld, shows a single figure, possibly the god Veles, who was associated with the earth, water, and the underworld. Vele was also considered a protector of cattle and wealth, implying the importance of the underworld in the Slavic belief system as a place of fertility and abundance, rather than simply a realm of the afterlife. The idol is one of the few surviving artifacts that provide direct evidence of the pre-Christian Slavic society and religious practices. Its discovery in a region that was undergoing Christianization during the early medieval suggests that pagan beliefs and rituals persisted even after the official adoption of Christianity. The idol likely served as a focal point for religious ceremonies and was possibly an object of veneration for the local Slavic communities. Today, the Zabruk idol can be seen in the Archaeological Museum of Krakow in Poland, where it continues to be studied to hopefully further unlock its mysterious origins. Number 4. The Great Sphinx, Egypt. Possibly the most famous giant statue in the world, the Great Sphinx of Giza is on the Giza Plateau near Cairo in Egypt. It's carved directly from the bedrock of the Giza Plateau. The Sphinx is one of the largest monolithic statues in the world, measuring about 240 feet or 73 meters in length and 66 feet or about 20 meters in height. The statue is positioned to face directly east, aligned with the rising sun, which has led many to believe that it was intended to represent the pharaoh's divine connection to the sun god Ra. The lion's body, symbolizing strength and courage, combined with the human head, likely in honor of the wisdom of the pharaoh, creates a powerful image of the ruler as a protector of the land and a bridge between the human and divine realms. Most Egyptologists believe that the Great Sphinx was built during the reign of Pharaoh Khafre, who ruled during the 4th dynasty of the Old Kingdom, around 2550 to 2530 BCE. Now, this theory is supported by the closeness of the Sphinx to the Khafre's pyramid, the second largest of the three pyramids at Giza, and they've got similarities between the facial features of the Sphinx and known statues of Khafre. However, the exact date of the Sphinx's construction does remain a topic of debate, with some experts suggesting it could be even older, possibly dating back to the reign of Khafre's predecessor. The Great Sphinx has been the subject of various restoration efforts throughout its long history, with the earliest recorded attempt dating back to around 1400 BCE. According to an inscription known as the Dream Stele, a prince fell asleep in the shadow of the Sphinx and dreamed that the statue promised him kingship if he cleared the sand that had buried it up to its shoulders. Upon becoming pharaoh, he ordered the excavation of the Sphinx, restoring it to its former glory. The purpose and meaning of the Great Sphinx have inspired countless theories. Some believe that the Sphinx was originally part of a larger complex that included temples and other structures, serving as a guardian of the Giza Plateau. Others propose that it was a symbol of royal power and divine protection, representing the pharaoh as the earthly embodiment of Horus, the falcon-headed god associated with kingship. We may never know for certain why exactly it was built, but regardless, the Great Sphinx remains one of Egypt's most iconic monuments, attracting millions of people every year. Number 3. The Gomateshwara statue in India. The Gomateshwara statue, also known as the Bahubali statue, is one of the most revered monolithic sculptures in India, standing as a symbol of Jain faith and the values of non-violence, renunciation, and self-realization. Located in the town of Shravanabelagola in Karnataka, the statue is a large representation of Bahubali, a figure in Jainism who is celebrated for his intense meditation and ultimate attainment of liberation, or moksha. Carved out of a single block of granite, the statue stands at a height of approximately 57 feet or 17 meters, making it one of the tallest freestanding statues in the world. This statue is located on top of a hill, one of the two hills that dominate the landscape here, and is visible for miles around, towering over the countryside. The statue is in a posture of deep meditation known as Kayotsarga, which involves standing motionless with arms hanging downwards. The statue is covered with intricate carvings that include the representation of anthills and creepers climbing up Bahubali's legs, symbolizing his unwavering dedication and the passage of time during his years of meditation. The story of Bahubali is integral to the Jain tradition. According to scriptures, Bahubali was the son of the first Tirthankara, the younger brother of Bharata, the king who sought to become the universal ruler. A conflict rose between the two brothers over the kingdom, which led to a duel, and while Bahubali emerged victorious, he was struck by the futility and worldly desires and power. He renounced his kingdom, gave up his material possessions, and undertook a deep meditation to attain spiritual enlightenment. Every 12 years, a festival is held in honor of the statue, attracting thousands of devotees from across India and beyond. During the festival, the statue is anointed with thousands of gallons of sacred substances such as milk, sugar cane juice, saffron, and sandalwood. The festival is a deeply symbolic event, reinforcing the values of Jainism, particularly the principles of ahimsa, or non-violence, apigraha, or attachment, and anekantavara, or non-absolutism. The festival also serves as a unifying force for the Jain community, bringing together people from different regions and sects in a shared expression of faith and devotion. Number 2. The Colossi of Memnon, Egypt. The Colossi of Memnon. These are two massive stone statues that have stood as silent guardians on the west bank of the Nile River near Luxor, Egypt, for over 3,400 years. These imposing figures, each standing about 60 feet tall and weighing around 720 tons, are among the most iconic and enduring symbols of the ancient Egyptian civilization. Carved from quartzite sandstone, the statues were originally created to guard the temple of the pharaoh Amenhotep III, one of Egypt's most powerful rulers during the 18th dynasty of the New Kingdom. The colossi depict the pharaoh seated on his throne, hands resting on his knees, with his gaze fixed eastwards towards the rising sun and the Nile. The statues are decorated with intricate carvings, including images of the Nile god Hapi, who symbolizes fertility. These images emphasize the pharaoh's divine lineage and his role as a mediator between the gods and the people of Egypt. The figures on the throne, as well as the hieroglyphic inscriptions, reinforce the idea of Amenhotep III as a god king, embodying both earthly authority and divine power. One of the most mysterious things about these colossi of Memnon is the phenomenon associated with the northern statue, which became famous in the past for its singing. Beginning around 27 BCE, following an earthquake that partially damaged the statue, the northern colossus began to emit a sound at dawn, which was described as a musical or humming noise. Ancient Greeks and Romans who visited the site believed the sound was the voice of Memnon, a mythical Ethiopian king and son of the goddess Eos, who was beaten in a battle by Achilles during the Trojan War. According to legend, Memnon's mother Eos would pray for her son each morning, and the sound was thought to be his spirit greeting her. These colossi of Memnon continue to draw visitors today as a reminder of the grandeur of ancient Egypt. Continuing archaeological work around the site has also revealed more about the surrounding temple complex and the broader context in which the colossi were built. These findings have improved our understanding of Amenhotep III's reign and religious and political landscape of ancient Egypt at the time. Number 1. The San Agustin rock statues in Colombia. The San Agustin rock statues, which are in the Andean region of southwestern Colombia, are among the most significant archaeological treasures of South America. The monumental stone carvings, which are scattered across the landscape of the San Agustin Archaeological Park in the Huila department, offer a glimpse into the artistic, spiritual, and cultural practices of a pre-Columbian civilization that thrived in the regions between the 1st and 8th centuries CE. The statues, of which there are many hundreds, display the creativity and skill of these ancient people. Now, these statues are mostly anthropomorphic, depicting human figures in a range of sizes, from less than several feet to over 23 feet or 7 meters tall. These figures are often portrayed with exaggerated features such as large circular eyes, broad noses, and wide mouths, which are believed to represent a combination of human and supernatural traits. Some statues also feature animal characteristics such as fangs, claws, or wings, indicating a possible connection to shamanistic beliefs or the representation of deities and spirits. There's an amazing diversity of their forms and expressions, with some figures being depicted standing upright with a commanding presence, while others are crouched or seated in more relaxed postures. The exact purpose and meaning of the San Agustin statues, though, remain a subject of debate among experts. It is, though, widely believed that the statues were created to honor ancestors, deities, or mythical beings, serving as guardians of tombs or as focal points for rituals and ceremonies. The San Agustin Archaeological Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1995 and the largest group of religious monuments and megalithic sculptures in South America, this park includes several key sites, such as the Alto de los Ídolos and the Altos de las Piedras, and the Lavapatas fountain, where the statues are found in their original locations. The discovery and study of the San Agustin statues have provided valuable insights into the history of Colombia. These statues demonstrate the sophisticated craftsmanship of these people, as well as their deep spiritual connection to the land and the cosmos. And it's no wonder that today they've been a popular visitor attraction as a connection to the ancient past and a window into the spiritual life of a long-lost civilization. And so many have been lost over time, it's not uncommon for new ones to be discovered. And it is quite possible that there's one waiting to be unearthed that will answer many of the questions that we still have about the people that once lived there. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time. Thank you to our channel members.